What do you think about real estate, man?
Yeah, man, I think you told me a couple of times it's a cutthroat business. they trying to tell, yeah, but at the end of the day, and it's not just investors, man. I realized through agents, man, everybody want that money, man. You know what I mean? Everybody trying to get paid. But I think what I'm learning from real estate though is like,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Real Hustle Show with Marlou Merilles, where excuses gets crushed, 9-to-5 mindset gets broken, and we only talk real business, real moves, and real money. This show is all about the grind, the grit, and the glory. Today's episode, we have a special guest. We have a 25-year-old entrepreneur based in Winnipeg with a passion for building, learning, and sharing. His journey started in 2019 when he began investing and trading in stock market, which taught him the value of patient strategy and calculated risk. In 2023, he launched his Hanny Mobile, and through hard work and dedication, he grew it into a thriving six-figure business. He also has his own podcast, The Rise with Mehari. My brother, welcome to the show.
yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. 26, by the way, but
26, there you go.
Yeah, 1 year.
There you go.
Yes,
I like it when people tell me I'm younger, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
man, you look young anyway.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Marlou. Thank you for having me on the podcast, man. I think me and you have, now we're doing the third one. I think now I'm collaborating with you.
Yes, sir.
We did the first two.
Third one, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because we had like a short one.
Yeah.
Back in that other office, and then we did it with AJ. This is our third one.
Exactly, man. So I'm always up for collaboration, man. I'm always about, what you're standing for, man. The hustle, the grind, the execution, right?
There you
go.
go.
I'm pleasure to be on the show, man.
Thank you, bro. Just to give my audience some story, can you tell your story a bit to my audience? Where you came from,
Definitely, man. Yeah. So I actually grew up. I'm originally I was born in Sudan. My background is Eritrean. We came to Canada in 2009. So with a single parent mom. So didn't have much growing up. Grew up on the north end of Winnipeg. Seen a lot of crazy things. Whether it's gangs, people just doing crazy stuff. I was also, how I escaped a lot of my upbringing was I used to play sports. I was big into basketball. Academically, I wasn't the smartest guy, but I was able to sort of keep up playing basketball. And then by the time I got to like 11th grade or so, I got a scholarship to play in Ontario. So I've always kind of realized that my upbringing was not the greatest, but I used sports to kind of escape what I was kind of doing. And then did a lot of entrepreneurship when I was around grade 10. I used to flip shoes, video games at 15. So I've always kind of had the hustle when I was a kid. But in school they program you with so many things. You have so many limiting beliefs. So I didn't know this was really possible. So I just went all in on basketball. Then I graduated. And then by 2018 when I finished high school in the Churchill High School, I just realized, okay, like what's next? What am I going to do after this? So then I graduated. I just decided I wanted to go play basketball, but as to go make it, like global and stuff, you need to put in a lot of work and effort. And I realized like I'm going to school, I'm spending so much time, but am I actually going to get paid doing this? Mm-hmm. So then I just ended up dropping out of school. Then I came back to Winnipeg because I was in Ontario, Fanshawe for a little bit. Came back to Winnipeg, then the pandemic kind of happened.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, the pandemic, 2018.
So you were there around 2019?
Yeah, exactly, I see. So 2018, when I graduated, I came back for a couple months, and then, I just started working, roofing jobs, DoorDash. I was doing so many different things to kind of just keep myself, occupied, especially, as in the pandemic, everything is shut down. Then for some reason, I met this one guy, one of my close friends. He's like, hey bro, you should start a business. You should start it, because at the time he had his own cell phone business. He was like flipping phones and doing this thing, and then he had a book. Like he had Think and Go Rich. He had a bunch of books in his house. I'm like, bro, why are you reading books, man? He's like, oh, I mean, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm trying to get knowledge. I'm like, so I just kept seeing this guy read books. I'm like, okay, let me go and read one book and see what I could do. So he's like. And then I went and searched up Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm like, yo, this is what I needed for the longest period of my life. I'm like, I've been stuck in the 9 to 5, the mindset. So then when I read that book, it translated to a lot of my story, because my mom was a single parent mom. All she knew was hard worker, and it's just you got to work for what you want and stuff like that. And they didn't really have the mindset. So that book really helped me get into entrepreneurship. Then I got into stocks investing, and then ever since then I just kind of became a learner. And yeah, so the last, I'll probably say 6 years now, getting into investing, and then 2023 started the Hanny Mobile business, and then we now ventured into more, like last year, ventured into wholesale and real estate. That's what me and you kind of reconnected. So I've always kind of realized, like, every time I hit one ceiling, I'm always wanted to hit another ceiling, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what business has really taught me a lot of.
That's awesome, man. So going back to your time in Eritrea, how old are you again when you came here?
Man, I was 10 years old.
10 years old?
Yeah,
okay.
I was young, bro.
Wow, I was 15 when I came to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So how many brothers and sisters you have?
So I have one sister. Yeah.
One sister.
So I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like
so 10 years old, you came here, went to Churchill.
Yeah, went to Churchill High School.
I see. Then you just play sports. What part of the North End?
Ellen, 95 Ellen Street. Yeah.
Ellen Street.
95 Ellen Aircom. So
Aircom. Just by Salter.
Yeah. I grew up in Aircom.
Oh yeah, that neighborhood.
It was crazy back in the day. Yeah.
I thought you're far down right here on Flora kind of thing.
So that building we had like Ethiopians, Somalis, kind of different.
Bro, I've been there. You know what? I grew up in Winnipeg, right? 15, came here, and I went to Gordon Bell, and in Gordon Bell there were so many ethnicity, black people, Aboriginal, Asian. There was not that much Filipino there, so all my friends growing up was black people from Africa.
Yeah.
So I could relate to you. I don't know if you've seen my photo for my wedding. All my guys,
I've seen it.
My guys are from
exactly.
Eritrea, right?
Ethiopia. It's
I love having those guys, man. We kind of separated apart, but once we see each other, it's like the old times, right? So coming to Winnipeg as a 10-year-old, how did you kind of adjust to the new society in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I think in the beginning you're trying to find your tribe because you don't know where to go and stuff like that. But one thing I liked about when I was in Aircom is that they had like different community activities. So they had like, there was one time where we had basketball, we had, we played 5-on-5, and we'd actually play with the Westmen. So they would organize all these events for us. And so that's where I found like, my peace. And so I think it's like, because Winnipeg is so small at that time, especially, nobody really knew what was happening. So I always just kind of was in the community, making sure that, just staying active, playing sports. And we also had like a hip hop class. So I was just trying different things. Everybody wanted to be a rapper growing up. A lot of people wanted to. Rap was like the biggest thing, especially 2010, 11, 12. That's when things were really kicking up. So never really did that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of my friends who were getting into that scene. And so just did different activities, man, just to stay myself. Because it's like, your mom's working, like at night. And now it's like, you're home by yourself. So it's like, how do you find that space? And I think that's one thing about Winnipeg is that even though it's small, you can find those kind of communities that actually want to help you. Especially that place was actually, is government housing, right? So like, you don't have as much money, so they put you in this place to essentially go make something happen for yourself.
That's good, man. So you said about basketball. So basketball was kind of your safe place.
Yeah.
Hey, you played. How many years did you play?
Man, I've been playing since like 11, bro. Yeah, since 11.
So you really just started when you came here?
When I came here,
you weren't playing back home?
No, I wasn't playing back home. No. So we would play, like I said, same thing in Aircom. They had like a basketball outdoor, and we would just play, bro. Like we would like sometimes to 12, p.m. Sometimes like we just wake up, play basketball, and it get physical. Like guys who are playing over there, we play. You know how there's like 21, but we play African 21. Yeah. So essentially, if you shoot, you get slapped.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like you get like a real physical stuff, So it teaches you a lot about the game, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting way of kind of looking at sports.
How do you put basketball, like being in sports and being in business?
Oh man, it's 1+1. It's because you gotta if you don't have that mindset of like winning, because that's what separates people. There's people who just are excited, who are interested. Then there's people who actually want to win. And I think that's the difference. It's like, the small little efforts that you make. But I think when you get into business, it's like the compound effect, like the consistency, right? Because in basketball, you can show up you know, like they say in basketball, you can show up for like a whole year and not see anything. But in business, you have to show up every single day. Mm-hmm. So it's like the consistency.
And it never ends.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to consistently show up and the consistently be in the market, always looking for opportunities. Like just stay hungry, like you always say. So I think it really teaches you a lot, man. You can see how people are. If you never played sports growing up, and now you're in business, well, good luck.
Yeah. No, I think for the younger generation, I think involving yourself in sport is very, very important, because you learn the teamwork. You learn that you have like what do you call that? The grit in 100%. Yourself, right? Because you need to improve all the time, right? So I always tell my kids as well, you guys have to be in sport, especially Elijah right now. He's 10 at your age, so he has a team now. So a couple of years ago he stopped playing and he told me, Dad, sorry, I don't think I can play basketball. I was like, I was heartbroken, because I loved basketball growing up, even though my size is not as good as your size, right? So but I had the heart, right? I always want to be the winner. I hate losing, so I just want to instill that to him. So when he told me he doesn't want to play basketball, so I was thinking, what kind of sport can I put him in? But then COVID happened, so everybody kind of shut down, right? So after COVID, I played one gym, and then he saw some kids playing basketball, and it's like, oh, I want to play basketball again. So I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because basketball, we have to spend money, especially if you want to be in an organized sport like this, right? It's like, yeah. So
it's the ripple effect. You see one person doing it, now I want to actually do it too.
Exactly.
And I think with sports too, it teaches you a lot about like, because at the end of the day, you can't just win by yourself. We need a team. So it teaches you leadership. It teaches you like mindset. When the clock is ticking, what do you do? Like, what decision you're gonna make? Yeah. So I think it's a lot of it just comes down to like, it teaches you a lot, man. The game teaches you a lot.
So when you graduated high school, you went to, because you said you had a scholarship. Yeah. Was that a Division 1 kind of scholarship?
Yeah, so that was D1, because it was pretty good in Ontario. Yeah.
You haven't played me, bro.
Let's get it.
That's good, man.
Yeah. The thing is, though, basketball is like, it's anything, a repetition. Like if you think, okay, like I'm gonna, like when I finish and I realize, okay, like I don't want to do this. If you stop playing for a little bit, like someone like you who just putting in the work, they can catch up, right? But you still have the skills, but you still need the work ethic. I think that's one thing I realized about basketball. Because now, like I play here and there, but when I get on the court, I'm like, damn, I still have my moves, but it's like, guys, especially the young guys are coming up, they dunking at 360s.
Yeah, for
crazy,
sure.
Man, crazy.
Athletics. Nowadays, guys are very athletic.
Man, crazy.
I guess the food that we eat, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so you went to Montreal? Ontario,
yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
Just for a year, or how many?
Literally just 2 months. Yeah, we just in there for 2 months, and then as you know, like
2 months. That's it.
They announced the pandemic. They were like, the pandemic is happening now. Like we're gonna be a lockdown. So I'm like, okay, this is no good. Like I gotta go, because I'm not trying to go do Zoom calls and at that time it was everything virtual. So I'm like, do I continue doing this, or do I just go back and figure out? Because I wasn't making no money. Like people think you're a student athlete, he's making a lot of money. You have so much. At that time, I didn't have no debt because with the scholarship. But it's like you accumulate. A lot of people that came, they had a lot of debt. So it's like now they gotta go work a job. So it's so much things that people don't know. Everybody wants to be an athlete, but it's like, once you step in.
When I used to think once you get scholarship, you get allowances as well. Man. No, eh?
No, man.
In Winnipeg, in Canada, no.
Nah, you might get your food covered. You might get some things covered, but it's like
your home, no.
Yeah, no.
Your rent, nothing at all.
Nothing. You gotta go. So you gotta survive, man.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But okay, so you came back to Winnipeg. You did some odd jobs, roofing and stuff like that. So take me back to when you had that moment, because you said you met this friend, right? You met a friend that kind of guided you to reading that first book that you read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Guide me to that moment when you realized there's something more into this space, into this life.
Yeah, I think I stumbled upon it randomly, bro. It wasn't even like, I wasn't looking for it, but at that time that was like, so when I finished, as I told you, like 2018, at that time too, like, because I felt like I had these dreams and aspirations, But then when I got out of school, I realized I thought I missed out on a lot of things growing up. So I started partying, I started smoking, I started doing so many things that, you know, at one point, like, my parents were like, yo, you gotta like slow down, because like you went from like being top athlete, now so I think that transition really, when I discovered entrepreneurship and the mindset, I just realized, like, I told my friends, I can't be doing this anymore. Like, this is not what I want to do, because I'm reading these books and I'm realizing like I have to like really focus. I have to really do what do I want to focus on, right? So then I started reading. The first book that I read was Think and Go Rich, and nice. Robert talks about rule 1: the rich don't work for money.
Yes,
so I'm like, what do rich people do? I'm like, they invest into stocks, real estate, financial literacy. I'm like, man, what is this about? So then I picked stocks at the time because it was the low of entry to get into stocks was very low. You can literally open a brokerage account with $100.
That's right.
Right? Like, you don't need a lot of money. I just felt like real estate was too complicated. I was reading, I'm like, I don't know how much money do I need. I didn't even see anybody doing it. So then I started doing YouTube. And then I started doing a lot of YouTube University and started just kind of seeing how does the market work. And so I started investing. I was like, one thing about me that I wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna just keep watching videos. I wanted to actually do it myself. Yeah. So the first, like, literally within a couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, this is making sense. I'm gonna stop putting my money here and see if this is gonna work.
Well, that's good, that because your environment was changing. You started smoking, you started partying. I'm glad that you kind of separated yourself from those guys, because I know a lot of people in my age, my friends, they're still drinking every weekend and doing the same thing. And that's why I started this show, just to kind of motivate them a little bit and make them think that there's more to life. There's more than your 9 to 5 and coming and excited for the weekend, that okay, we can party again and then go back to Monday and do it all over again, right? It's a rat race.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle, and once you get into it, it's very, like, I think people don't know, like, drugs, like, to people think, oh, like, that person is doing, he's a bad, but it's like, it's an addiction, dopamine, right? Once you get hooked to it, it's like, so when I got into it, I'm like, oh, this is not something you just quit right away. It takes time. So I think for me, I was doing it for about a year. The thing is, the more you do it, your increases, your level of dopamine just goes up and up and up,
exactly,
right? So I think it's like, it can really break you, because like, if you just do that for a long period, you start getting depressed. You start like feeling like, yo, the world is not really for me.
And you get lazy.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, lazy is the big. People tell you,
right there, I need to get comfortable.
So I think it's man. I think that was the turning point, and I think you have to have a shift in mindset. Once you get a shift in mindset, now you're thinking about, you're not thinking about the friends, you're not thinking about the party, you're thinking about, okay, how do I actually make a difference? I think that's one thing that I really took from like just getting into business. And,
so when you entered the trading world, did you make a lot of money on that?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money.
Well, trading is like,
it's tough.
Playing casino.
That's what I'm saying. Right? No, there's people who make money in it. But there's a strategy. Like anything else, like in wholesale and real estate, you have a strategy. Like in my business, I have a strategy. I think what I realized early on was that I thought I was just going to wing it. Like, I'm just going to come in here. But what I didn't realize is that this game was rigged. In a sense where there's institutional traders. There's people who are putting in millions of dollars into the market. Who out of me, I'm only using $100 to $500 to trade. And I'm putting in my dollar, but this person, the hedge fund manager, he has millions and billions of dollars. And you can actually look at this too. There's like algorithms, there's like algos. You can actually see how much money people are pumping in. So when I was trading and I was investing, I was looking at, okay, how much money is going into Tesla stock? How much money is going to Apple? Right? You can actually see exactly how much people are pumping in. And so you can see sometimes where you'll have people like in the governments. For example, Nancy Pelosi, she would dump a lot of her money into the market, right? And then she would say, oh, I'm buying Nvidia stock, and next thing you know, boom, Nvidia's going up, right? So you might be going short. They're already going long before you, because the news is already out for them. Right. So I think it's like
it's an inside job.
It's inside, So a lot of it has to do with looking at the market. Like, if you're not keeping up every single day looking at the news, then your edge is just, you don't have an edge. Like, you have to look at the news, you have to look at the strategy. And what I realized in the beginning was I was trying to make money fast, but without having a strategy.
Right.
But then once I lost a lot of money, then I got a little bit of a strategy. Then I was able to, like, so to give you an example, the pandemic 2019. Crypto was going up, stocks were going up. So at one point I put in like $1,000. That went to like a 3,000. Then I realized the market stocks were going too slow. So I took my money out and I put into big crypto. So I started buying like small coins, and that's when the money really started doubling. I made like a lot of money from crypto. Then I took that. I'm like, okay, I want to actually quit my job. I want to do this full time. Then I put that into the stock market.
So you quit your job?
No, I wanted to quit my job full time. So I wanted to like do trading, because here's the thing, like when you're investing, it's passive income, right? So essentially you put $1 in, you're waiting for money to come in 3-4 weeks. But when you're trading, now you can make active income, where you can now look at the market every single day to want to essentially bet the market is going to go up or go down. That's how most people are doing it full time. They're typically like day traders, right? But the ones who are like active, they probably have a 9-to-5 job. So I'm realizing, okay, how do I do this full time? Like I want to be able to trade the market, but it's very tough, because like you need discipline, you need psychology, but it teaches you a lot, and I learned a lot from doing that. Like I never look at like, because the money that I would have probably put into school now, I put that into the market. That was my tuition fee. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
every person has to have their own tuition fee.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you gotta pay anyways, man. You gotta pay the game. So it's kind of where it was, man.
I see. Okay. So then when you did the stock, when did you end up quitting your full-time job?
Yeah. So when I was doing that, so I was doing stocks from 2019 till about 2022, like the end of it. I was doing DoorDash, but I was just like, so every time I would make money, I would put it, like I made money from doing it, I would put it into the market. I would lose money. I'm like, man, this thing is not working out. The investing was going good though. I had like long-term investing that was going. But 2023, when I came around there, I realized, okay, like I'm at that one time, I was sitting at my office like for 5-10 hours a day. So it got too much. I was like, how do I actually sell a service? So then one day I came across, like again, YouTube videos. I'm watching a bunch of stuff. I'm like, how do I sell a service? Like, what product can I sell? And I'm watching YouTube videos like, oh, you can make money flipping phones. You can make money on Shopify, e-commerce. So I started getting into e-commerce, Shopify, just trying different things. Then I saw this one guy flipping iPhones. He like, you could buy a bunch of phones, you could sell them. Like, this actually works. And then I just stumbled upon it. And then I had a bunch of phones later on in my house. I'm like, okay, let me take these phones that I have and let's see if I can sell them. Because I'm the type of person where I feel like I don't need a lot to start. I just use what I have and just start.
That's how life it is though.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And kudos to you, because you didn't stop and you didn't get discouraged when you lost money in the stock market. You find something else that, okay, let me try this. Hopefully it works, right?
Yeah.
People nowadays, when they tried something new and it worked, and then for some reason it doesn't work anymore, they just quit. They feel discouraged and they just go back to their originally what they're doing, right? So to you and to me, same thing happened to me, right? I started selling some Filipino street food. That didn't work out. I tried to sell another product. Again, it's a Filipino street food. That didn't work out. And then now I stumble upon real estate, and it blew up. So the power there is not giving up and not quitting, and keep trying, because you never know what could happen next, right? That's why I keep telling people, and April and I were talking all the time. We're talking because the way I talk to people is I try to encourage them to start their own business. I want to make them to start at least something. But she keeps telling me, you cannot talk to each person like that, because entrepreneurship is not for everybody. I said, I know, but if you don't try, you're never gonna find out, right? So you have to at least try, and if you keep failing, guess what? It's not for you. Maybe you're not learning it from somebody else, right? Because even the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill tried so many times, right? And look what happened to him. So
it's the failure. It's like every time you hit a ceiling, you want to like what this ceiling is testing me. Like, you know, they talk about so I'm big into faith. I've been reading the Bible a lot. It talks about how like every time we get knocked down, every time we fall, how do we get us back up, right? So I think it's most people have this mindset of like, oh, things are not working out, like this is it's a scam. Like you get a lot of people say that, oh, it's a scam. Like this you won't make money here. Like you should just go back to your 9-to-5 job. And I think if you can get the mindset to want to improve and to want to do something different, I think that's where really change happened. But yeah, I think it's every time you hit, like you start one business, you're like, okay, because you learn a lot from one business. So what I learned from like doing the phone business, like from like doing that to then getting to wholesaling, I took those same skills and I applied it into real estate wholesaling. People don't know, it's like people were like, how are you doing this? It's like, even though I hired a coach, but at the same time I already had the fun. I was already on the phone. I was already talking to a bunch of sellers. You know what I mean? So same thing, but just like you told me.
I told you, right?
Yeah, it's a bigger number.
It's the bigger number. That's it. You just added another zero.
Yeah.
You're selling something, but it's a different product.
Yeah.
Right? It's just bigger number.
Yeah.
Right? Phone is like what? $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
In real estate, you're selling hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah,
That's it. But you're selling, and that's why I also tell Elijah, and I keep telling him that you and your brother have to know sales.
Yeah.
Because if you know how to sell, you'll never go broke. You'll never find yourself not having money in the bank. Once you know how to sell, how to persuade in people,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, you have to have integrity, because if you don't have integrity and you're just a crook, then it's not good, right? Going back to, you said you read a lot of Bible nowadays.
Yeah,
You're into
Bible.
faith.
Yeah. So I've been really. I think I discovered the Bible. Well, I've always I've been a Christian, right? But my parents, growing up, people typically go to church. We used to go to church when we were young.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you actually go and start reading the word and really kind of digesting it, it makes sense, right? Hard worker, right? Staying patient, Proverbs, right? And just there's so many principles and wisdom that you can kind of get.
There's a lot of wisdom in the Bible. When I was a younger, I was in high school. Actually, grade 2 till grade, I would say 7, I was in a Christian school. All of us, my siblings. So every Friday we have like a worship kind of thing at school. So obviously, as a Christian school, you have to kind of learn the Bible a little bit. But at that time, it wasn't like serious about it, and you're just a kid.
Yeah.
Right, trying to play, trying to learn at the same time. But I like that, So right now we're not big into religion.
Oh, okay.
We're not big into religion. But we believe in God, right? Because I always tell people religion is just like a status. But if you pray and talk to God every day, He's there.
Yeah,
right? You have to have faith. I always go back to Elijah. He's reading Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
Right? He's at chapter 10 now. So I keep telling him every chapter he would read one chapter a day, and I keep telling him what did you learn? What was the takeaway? And then when he was on, I don't know what chapter it was, chapter 3, when he was talking about faith or something. I don't know what chapter it was. So I told him, even if you desire something, you have to have faith that it will work out. Because also, if you don't put into an action,
it won't work.
It won't work. Even though you have the faith and desire, you have to put the action. So I'm glad we talked about
one
that.
of my favorite verses in the Bible is Proverbs 27:17.
Okay.
He says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." And I think I realized that we have these skills, these tools. When we connect with someone else, it creates like a ripple effect. And for me, I always kind of digested like, okay, if I have knowledge, if I have information, how do I share it with the world, right? And oftentimes, we like to gatekeep a lot of things. People will hide information, like entrepreneurship, like starting your own business, like you were talking about. So how is it that if we can get information, if we can get, how can we have a 1+1, like someone else gets it as well too, and we create this massive, economy, this massive environment, just like you're doing with your son, right? And so I think if we understand that more in life and you become a giver, like I actually give and want to give back to our community, give back to our people, things start to come back to us. And I think that's one of my favorite verses in the Bible, because it really shows you that, it's like, it's your duty to teach people. It's your duty to be able to be a servant, to help and to provide, right? And people will see that you're actually doing it out of genuine love, out of curiosity. So for me, that's what's opened my mind a lot when it came to like just digesting the word and just looking at where my life is. I'm always like trying to help people. I'm always wanting to give, and I realize that's giving me a lot of, sometimes too, it's not mandatory. It might not be money. It could just be, like giving back to your family, giving back to people that are in your community, right? And people are always looking for a return, but if you sow a seed today, it can probably flourish in the future, right?
Correct, yeah.
And you see this a lot in business, the relationship you build with people. So that's kind of what I feel like the what I'm been kind of, that's one of my favorite verses in the Bible, I'd probably say.
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
So now, going to mindset and hard work, what do you think is more important?
I like it, bro. I think mindset is key, because without mindset, you could tell someone, like you said, start a business, do that, but there's a gap, there's a ceiling.
Yes.
So I actually deal with the same thing where I talk to a lot of my family relatives. I don't know if you heard of the gap in the game. So there's a gap. For example, when you're creating a gap, right? So your family might be way behind you, but your gap is you're increasing. You're pushing. You started this business. You're on your way up, but people behind you, there's a ceiling. They're still trying to catch up to you. So I think it's important for us that when we are pushing, when we are creating a gap, we don't go back.
Yes.
Right. So oftentimes we go back to pull people, but then you realize they haven't discovered the mindset. Like, you were in real estate for so many years, you lost so much. The same thing for me. I been doing this for 6 years. Like, there's so many learnings that you have to do, so much reprogramming that you got to do. So I think mindset is crucial, because subconsciously a lot of us are programmed.
Yes.
There's this chip on our head, like, they put us negativity, like limiting beliefs, the school system. So I think when we're developing our mindset, it's important that we create a much better environment for ourselves to keep expanding that. So and hard work goes in between that, because when you get the mindset, work and play becomes natural, because what you're doing right now is not like, you're not being forced to do this.
Yeah.
You're like talking to people, you're making it happen, you're providing for your family at the same time too. It gives you a more satisfying or purpose. You're like purpose driven, essentially.
Right.
There's no work-life balance.
And everything starts with the mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Because if the mind is not right, anything else follows.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to start with the mind. That's why I got Elijah to start reading book. I told him after this Think and Grow Rich, he has to read Relentless.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm working on his mindset right now to build it up a little bit. He understands what's happening right now. And that's why I think people need to understand that you have to re-involve yourself, and you have to start with this right here, right? Because the mind starts with everything.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have the right mindset, you're just gonna go back to the old you, because you're gonna give up, and that's it. You're gonna be working hard for somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I like that mindset first, and then
it comes natural. Hard work is available.
Work. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So when you started your Hanny Mobile, how long did it take you to make money?
That's a good one. Yeah. No, actually, that business was actually at that time, I don't know where it was. Like, I think 2023, the market must have been hot or something. So when I got into it, I got into it at a good time. So the first month I started with $365, and then that month I think I did like $4,000 or so. The second month I actually did like crazy.
4,000?
Yeah,
that's more than an average
person in the job.
Average, what do you call that? Like the minimum wage. Right? Because minimum wage, you probably earn what, 2,000 a month, 2,500.
Yeah. So that second month, I just realized I wanted to go more aggressive. So I started.
Nice.
I want to like. And at the end of the day, people don't know is like business is a contact sport.
Yes.
This is when I realized, okay, how many outreaches do I have to do in a day? I'm gonna do 50 today. Tomorrow I'm gonna do 50, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So I think I did so many outreaches, man. I found this one guy, Uncle Gigi. He was like, hey, I have some phones I want to sell you. You want to meet? I met this guy. Then I found out when I met him, he had a badge. He had a Bell badge on. So I knew he was working for Bell at the time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So then he had like a bunch of phones. He's like, I might have more phones for you. I like you, man. You seem like you're a young guy. You want to be where you're hustling. Like, I want to see how we could work together. I don't want to go on Facebook. There's a lot of, nowadays, Winnipeg is a crazy people out there.
Yeah,
so he's like, if I could just sell to you. That's what I'm saying. If I could just sell 100 phones to you and make a little bit of money, I'm cool.
Right.
So he sold me like 100 phones, but that month I did like $15,000.
15,000?
Yeah. So that was 1.5. Yeah.
Oh, the next month.
Yeah. Because he gave me, like, I was just contacting so many people,
right.
and like for some reason, guy was just like, yo, you gotta, like, because I wanted to also quit my job. I'm like something has to be here. Like, I want to do this, and I found this one guy, but it's just persistent. I just kept following up, and then
persistent, man. I love that word.
You message 100 people, you find like one person. I'm like, man, this is the goal of mine.
Right.
Right. Wow. Even the guy who in the business like way before me is like, man, you got lucky. Like, how did you find this guy? Because it's not luck though. I believe luck is an interception with opportunity means preparation. So if you're prepared, like if you put yourself out there, if you do the small little details you're gonna do, you're guaranteed to see success. So it wasn't luck. I mean, plays a little bit of a role, but it's like
sure.
I was already prepared. I was already doing the things that I need to do to get that.
Luck is part of a success, of our success, because you don't get lucky all the time. You only get lucky if you win the lottery, right? Even lottery is a luck.
Yeah.
There's people, billions and billions of people are playing lottery, and then you get lucky.
Win.
It's the same thing in business. You put in the work, you talk to whoever you need to talk to, you study the business you want to be in, and sometimes you get lucky. And that's when people are like, "Oh, you just got lucky."
Yeah.
What do you say to those people that will tell you, "Oh, you just got lucky"?
Oh man, you remember them down days, man. I was crying, I was struggling, man. I was so many down days. I was like about to give up, and that's the real thing. It's like people don't see that; they only see the wins, but they don't see the days where you about to give up, and you're like you don't have as much money. You gotta, there's a lot of that, and I think it teaches you a lot. When you don't have nothing, though, it really humbles you to know that once you do make something, like what are you gonna do out of this? Because people who have a lot too, they get comfortable, right? But when you have nothing, it's much more like, okay, now I gotta get up and do something about it. So I think it's when you start with nothing, it teaches you a lot, especially in business, man. And
then now you were making money in the phone. You kept reinvesting into the phones, right? So you've been in the phone business for what, 2 years?
I think it's been 3 years now.
3 years now.
Yeah, 3 years.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
And then now you're jumping into the real estate.
The real estate.
The new pond.
Exactly.
Where sharks are real. Right?
I'm about jumping into the wind. I mean, I think.
What do you think about real estate, man?
Yeah, man, I think you told me a couple of times it's a cutthroat business. They're trying to tell. Yeah, but at the end of the day, and it's not just investors, man. I realized to agents, man, everybody want that money, man. You know what I mean? Everybody trying to get paid. But I think what I'm learning from real estate though is like, it's not. I was talking to Bryce about this the other day. I told him, Bryce, like, all I did was 1 hour worth of work and I got paid like $10,000. Like what is this about? He's like, listen, in real estate, it's not about how many hours you put in. It's about what value can you create.
That's right.
So I'm realizing more and more, like in my phone business, bro, I put in 100 hours a week. I was putting so much work, and I used to do wholesaler. So I would move like, we're talking about 500 products, 600 in a month. I'm doing it to like people across Canada. So when it came to like wholesaler real estate, I'm like, all I gotta do is just talk to 10 sellers, because my pipeline in the phone business was like, if I'm talking to 100. All I need is 10, right? And out of those 10, if I need 3 or 4 leads, but of course with more time. But I think the skills that I learned in that one business, it really translated into real estate wholesaling. And I already have like people skills, right? Like it comes down to, because wholesaling real estate is not just a product.
No.
Once you get the product, it's step 1. The step 2 is you got to find a buyer, right? And that's
the thing is, it's like basketball. You have to learn the rules first. Don't get me wrong, people need to understand that you have to learn the game before you start playing the game.
100%.
Right? Because there's a lot of people that started real estate. I myself started in real estate just buying my first rental property, and I just went to the deep part of the pool, and I just jumped right straight without knowing anything. I didn't know how to swim. I didn't know anything about mortgages. Bro, I was ready to quit. Like this much, I was so ready to quit, and then that's when I realized that, okay, I gotta learn this game, because there's more into this real estate than just being a landlord, right? And then that's when I invested a lot of money into a coach, which taught me everything that I could, well, at that time. But now the knowledge and the learning doesn't stop from there, right? So hired different coaches now, different mentors in BC, Dan Martel, right? So going back to real estate, you've done your second deal.
Actually my third one.
Third one. Oh wow. What was the second one?
The second one was a referral. I did like a referral. A referral to one guy. Yeah, man, I think it comes down to really focus, man. I think that's the most important thing I realized for myself. I realized like it's but I think every time you hit a one milestone, like I was saying earlier, you want to go somewhere. Like I see Marlou is like killing it here, and I think whenever I surround myself with people who are doing like bigger things, it opens my mind to like more opportunities. So in the phone business, like I see a lot of times, like I work with vendors, I work with people and like, you know, but they're very comfortable. You know, like they own this store, they work out of this like, you know, shop, and we provide them a phone, but it's like it gets to a point where, you know, it's like, okay, like, yo, I'm making this much money, this whatever, but I'm not really being valued for my time, I feel like. So the reason why I'm doing wholesale and real estate is because I feel like I want to push myself, like I want to actually do something that's going to push me, and also too, I feel like I have the skills, but of course, you know, like anything else, it requires you to do the work. If you don't do the work, you can't get paid, right? So and that's why I'm doing I like wholesale and real estate. I don't know about rentals and all that. I just find that to be very interesting because I just feel like, you know, the transition from like getting the product to marketing it to then finding the buyer, that's like, that process, it works, you know what I mean, but you got to do the work.
Of course.
Right? So that's kind of what,
nothing is gonna be given to you at all.
But Marlou, tell me though, because I talk to a lot of people, man. They get confused. They're like, so when I tell them I do real estate, you're an agent? You probably get this a lot. You're an agent, so
no.
How do you make money here? Like wholesale real estate, what is, people don't have no idea what this stuff is, man.
No.
It's like, bro, you could literally just pay someone a fee, like, to get training, but they're like, oh, like, teach me, bro, tell me, I want to get on the phone. Like, bro, I already paid my tuition. Like, you don't want to invest, but you want to get all the game that I have. Do you know how much hours and time I put into this? So tell me, man, you come across a lot of people who probably want your time.
Yes.
Where do you set the boundaries? What do you tell people, man?
That's a great question, bro. I love answering this question. So when people come up to me and say, bro, can you teach me, and I will give you the leads that I'm gonna get, and let's do deals. First of all, I tell them, no, thank you, because I'm doing my own marketing, right? And it's not that I don't want to teach anybody. I love teaching, right? I love helping out other people, especially my Filipino community, but they have to understand that even though I want to teach you guys the game, you guys have to really invest something in you first, because even if you give me leads, right, and I close on the lead, I could teach you a little bit, but not the full 9 yards. Like, I'm not like, how do I say this?
It's not hands-on, like,
correct.
Yeah,
right.
You're working with your own business as well too.
Right. So I cannot put my focus on you guys teaching you, and then guess what? When I started, some people reached out and I tried to help them out. They wasted my time. So even my coach back then, he said, there's going to be a time where you're gonna be at my position, where people are going to be reaching out and saying, hey bro, can you teach me this? Can you teach me this? And if we do deals, I'm giving it all to you. So I started doing that. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe there's a market to this, because if they give me leads, then I could make money, right? But then I was talking to them and then giving them the game, but after a few weeks, they all disappeared. So for me, I wasted my energy, my time, just to give back to you guys, and guess what? Nothing happened, right? So for me, if you want me to teach you, unfortunately, there's going to be cost, because I didn't get the game for free. And I want you guys to understand that if you put something into something that you want and want to learn that, specifically, let's say wholesaling, it gives you motivation that to get that money. For example, you invested $5,000 into a coaching or a program. My mindset when I invested $22,000 to my coach, I better get my freaking money back.
Yeah.
So it motivated me to get my money back, work as hard as I can. You know, I was dropping flyers every single day, 250 pieces a day, bro, a day. So imagine that, 2 hours or an hour and a half walking.
Yeah.
So that's how I tell people nowadays. Yes, you can send me leads, but unfortunately, you will get a little bit of information on how I close these people. I appreciate that you want to learn from me, but you gotta pay your tuition.
Yeah.
I love helping out, but unfortunately, it doesn't come for free, because if it comes for free, you don't value it. I'll give you an example of when your parents gives you a car. Let's say it's an old beater car.
Yeah.
And it was given to you by your parents. You won't take care of it, right? But if you buy something, for example, an older car, and the money came from you and you bought that car in your mind is your Lamborghini. Because you spent money, you take care of that freaking car, you polish it, you probably wash it every freaking weekend, right? To keep the car clean. So that's how I would tell the people that wants coaching is, if you don't invest something, you're never gonna take it and value that knowledge, right? So
I think because I do consulting as well too. So I started, like I said, when I got into the business, I realized, okay, I have knowledge, I want to teach people, and you realize a lot of people just they take things for granted, right? So if you take things for granted, then it's like, don't come to me saying you need help, but at the same time, like, you don't actually need help. You just want to.
90% of the people out there are very motivated, and interested, but if they don't have the mindset and the grit to keep going, like you said, persistent, consistency, it's never gonna work out, right? Because you get knocked down once and that's it. You go back to your old self.
100%.
Right? So, okay, what's your process for reinventing yourself or pivoting to stay ahead in a competitive space?
I think that's a good question. I think you have to continuously be a learner and always ask for questions. So I think people in this business, they want to help. So like Bryce, like yourself, a lot of the wholesalers, they're always like, if I see something like, yo, what do you think about this? So I think just being around like-minded people, like that community and people like that, it really helps you a lot. Because like at the end of the day, it's not like a lack of like access, whatever. It's just a lack of just not knowing like who to just all you need is like, yo, Marlou, I gotta do this. Like talk for 5 minutes, like just boom, like that, right? They just go execute. So I think it's that's so like people you have to pay thousands of dollars sometimes to do something like that, right? So like being able to have that, just being courageous enough to reach out and talk to people, but also to providing value and seeing how we can do some deals in the future. That's kind of what I always look at. There's always have to be a win-win, right? So I think that's kind of what I'm approaching real estate to be like. But I'm meeting so many people now. I see that it's everybody wants something in it for them, which I totally understand.
That's the word.
Exactly.
Right? You do the best thing for yourself, right? Like if you need to feed your family, obviously you gotta do things that will help them, right? So we're in it for ourselves. That's what it is. At the same time, you want to collaborate and make money with people that you trust, right? And like you said, real estate is a cutthroat business. There's few people that you could really trust that won't go behind your back, because I've been in the business for 5 years and I know people who would do that, who would stab my back, and I just kind of stay away from them. I don't like dramas or anything. I like making money, so my focus is there, and not with people that will do dramas around me,
I can imagine. So what's that been like for you? Because you've been in the business for like 5 years now. So someone who's just dabbling in and has some deals, what would be the advice there? Like, what would you tell me?
I would keep my eye peeled with people. I mean, people have done nothing bad to me in this business because I've done anything bad to them. So I think it's just how you present yourself to them, that you're all about business and relationship. And if obviously they do something bad to you, you cut the bridge, right? Because at the end of the day, if you heard people talking things about this person, but that person hasn't done anything to you, then why would you cut your bridge with that person, your connection with that person? Because you never know, that person that they're talking shit about, that person could bring you deals, right? And that camera turned off again. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if people has done nothing bad to you, then I would keep my toes, my eyes, my ears peeled with that person, and then just keep doing what you're doing with integrity and keep hustling, bro. That's it. And then let's talk about your podcast, bro, before we end this podcast. What got you to start your own podcast?
I think Podcast is a good way to network. People don't know it's a good way to build a network.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, people like to talk about themselves.
Yep.
So if you can get them to sit down, they'll share so much. They'll be able. Because at the end of the day, we want to be, as you know, human nature. People like they always want to know about themselves. They want to talk and they want to talk about their business, about their ideas. So if you can create a platform for them to be able to share, like you're going back to earlier, it's not about us, it's about them. So I think for me, it's like I'm also too like learning from them as well. So I'm interviewing people and I'm also working on my skills of like talking to people and just asking.
And that's why I'm doing
questions.
this as well.
Yeah.
I wanna. I actually this is a challenge to myself, because sometimes when you get to a certain level of in your life, that what's next? You know what I mean? I'm at that point I'm at that point of my life is what is next? Like what's the ceiling I could touch and try to achieve? So this is why I created this show as well. Sorry to cut you off. To challenge myself, to reinvent myself, to talk to people. Bro, when I was young, you'll never see me go up in the front of the class. I would be sweating bullets, bro. I swear to God.
Introvert.
I'm very playful, but when you put me on the spot, bro, everything shuts down, bro. My brain shuts down, everything. So this is a one way for me to get out of that comfort zone that people always have, right? Getting uncomfortable with comfortable things, right?
Next thing is Marlou is public speaking. We gotta put you, because you have the fan base, you have people want to listen to you. So it's like people, it takes time, but like if you put yourself out there and because let's say you're talking to 100 people, like you need a lot of courage to do something like that, right? So I think
trust me, bro. When I was a kid, man, I remember this one presentation that we did in back home, bro. Myself, I don't review. I don't like this podcast. Like I would review my first line and that's it. I would just go with the fly, right? With the show. So when I was presenting back home, I would just read what I wrote on the piece of paper and people would ask my classmate. I didn't know what to answer, bro. I was so shy. But that was one of my biggest fear growing up, and still in me that, you know, I'm too introvert presenting myself to hundreds of people in front of me. I don't know if you were at Emria when I presented. You were.
I don't think I was there.
You were there. You weren't there.
You came to the one where I was. I was.
I was there when you were speaking. But when I was speaking, bro, I was nervous. I was like, my heart was beating so fast. But like, this is one of the reasons why I wanted this show to happen, so I can network as well and reinvent myself. You know. So, and you also host networking events.
So going back to the networking with the podcast, it's like 1 + 1, because people come to the events and I interview, like I sit down with these high level entrepreneurs and I'm like, yo, do you want to do a podcast? Like what you're talking about is good, but as you know, content is king nowadays. So someone could say one thing, but when we do the event, they've already said it because I've already heard it, so I can already know what to ask, what questions to. So there's so many things people don't know about it because for them it's brand new, but for me, I've already kind of heard it. So I think it's not, like you say, content creation is not saying one thing one time, it's saying one thing multiple times. I've seen where people come to events, do a podcast, they'll repeat the same thing, but for someone new, it sounds like, wow, this is a great information. This is crazy.
That's one thing that's also, what's that word? Is challenging my brain that, man, I've been to Hanny's podcast. I've been to a couple of podcasts, and I'm repeating my story. So that's how it is, man. Because not everybody knows you from your community.
Exactly.
My community doesn't know you, so you gotta repeat it, right? Repeat your story and everything. So I'm glad we're here, bro. I do appreciate your time.
No, thank you for having me. Well, like I said, the podcast is called the Rise Podcast.
Yes, sir. Plug it in. Before we end this podcast, give my audience your biggest advice to those people that are on the sideline and wanting to have success in life?
My mentor has this quote. He says, "You playing small, how many people are hurting?" So when you play small,
Say that again.
you playing small, how many people are hurting? So it's like when you play small, just think about the people that you're providing for, your family, your community, right? So
Right.
you're not just thinking about yourself when you're just being selfish, like you're thinking about much bigger. So don't play small, man. I think we all have a gift. You know, God designed everybody differently. So what is your gift? And the only way to find out your gift, you got to jump into the unknown.
Yes.
And the unknown is sometimes starting a business, failing it multiple times. For me, I got like robbed. I lost so much money doing it. So you're always going to get like into the unknown. And that's where you really find out who you are. And I think, I believe fear is an illusion. I believe it's about like when you do things that are going to scare you, that's when you break your fear. And I think oftentimes I see it again and again, like you say, public speaking, like doing content, like so many of these things that we do, we think it's like fear, but it's not. It's like one step towards getting to that close. So, man, don't play small, man. I think everybody has a certain skill that they could bring to the table. And for you, it might take a little bit longer for you to find that skill. So it might be 3 years, it might be 4 years. For Marlou, it took 5. For me, it's 6, but I feel like I'm just getting started again. So it's like every time you hit a new ceiling, you're like, okay, I'm about to start another one. So it's life is a never ending learning process. We're always learning. So,
And I would add to that people need to stay focused on one thing at a time, because if you're doing so many things at a time, you're juggling, trying to learn stocks, trying to learn investing, trying to learn wholesaling, trying to learn basketball. Your energy, your focus are not there. And if your focus is not on that specific thing will not grow. And
100. You told me that before.
I've told you that before, right? So if you want to grow your phone business, focus on that. Once that thing is automated, then come to real estate. And then focus on wholesaling, right?
So you have to build systems. I think without systems, like, because our life is designed around systems. Like you have a routine. You wake up at 5 a.m. You go to the gym, right? People are like, how is Marlou winning? Because he has a system. He's following the system. And when you see he's getting the results, like, what is your system? If you don't have one, then how do you expect to get a result? So I think it's, the more I realize this and more, sometimes when we think about why we're not achieving something is because we don't have a roadmap. We don't have a strategy to get in there. So I think we have a system and understand that, like, get information, get mentorship, because Dan Martell, good book to read, Buy Back Your Time. So I think it's, there's so many things that you learn. And oftentimes there's business owners who've been doing this for like, 15, 10 years. They don't even know about these information. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's important that we do this because, like, we have to live a life where it's like designed, specifications. Like, okay, I'm going to do this at this time. I'm going to do this at this time. Like, so for me, that's kind of what it is. Like, I'm not perfect, but I make sure. I make sure.
You can't be perfect. Yeah, nobody's perfect. God is the only perfect person, right? So
I like it.
Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to look embarrassed. That's my advice to myself as well. Because every time I stand in front of a lot of people, I get embarrassed. But this is why we start this show, and this is why we evolve from here. So, lastly, how can my community help you, bro? Plug it away.
No, I appreciate it. So you can find me on all social media platforms. It's at Hanny Mehari. So HANNY MEHARI. That's all platform: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So then if you want to support the event, we actually have an event coming up November 28th. We have a special guest speaker named Coach Michael DePeaser. He's going to talk about...
I'd like to talk to Coach Mike.
Coach Mike. Michael DePeaser. He has a workshop. We're going to be talking about growth mindset, and he's going to break those frameworks down and just really just help people. And at the end of the day, it's about just getting the information but taking action. I think action is what really matters. So we're looking to create a space people can learn, but at the same time take 1 or 2 nuggets to apply it into their business, into their life. So that's November 28th. You can get tickets. Link in my bio. Whatever.
Yes, sir. So don't forget to search him up, Hanny Mehari, right?
Mehari, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Guys, if you like this episode, don't forget to share it with your family, your friends, if you find any value. And don't forget to subscribe to the new channel. and share this podcast and tag your friends. Again, brother, thank you
appreciate
for
it, bro.
being on the show.
Hey, like I said, stay hungry, man.
Stay hungry, man. Let's go.
Let's go.